Okay, now I think we're live. Now I believe so. Are we? 很好，很好。大家好，大家好。欢迎来到 Discovery Chinese class. I'm really excited for today's class, guys. Oh my! I can't wait to hear all the information that's going to be dropped here today. You guys do not want to miss. So, guys, before we continue, as you can see in my background, we are, I know here in Kenya, the kids have closed school. Now, we is coming for your money. We is coming for your money. Now, guys, enroll your children today to start learning Chinese. Now, guys, there are many reasons that we'll talk about next time about why your children should be learning Chinese as early as now. But we have many reasons why they should. And I think in the way the world is going these days, you guys should probably start right now. So we teach kids all the way from 4 years old to 16 years old. So if you have children within that age bracket, then we invite you to enroll with us today. So other than that, today we have a wonderful guest speaker today. Remember last week I told you that I wanted to talk a little bit about Shama, wanted to talk a little bit about applying for scholarships. You guys know that the seasons for applications has now begun. And now today there's a very special person who's going to come and talk to us a little bit about that. Now, before she comes in, maybe some of my students, some of my friends can say hello. The people who are here in Zoom with me, maybe you guys can say hello to our YouTube friends. So guys, can you maybe unmute and say hello to our YouTube friends? Laura, Tanya, and Tabby, Yokai. Aha, 很好。
你好，你们好。
大家好，欢迎你们。
很好。Anyone else that hasn't said hello? Sally, have you said hello to our friends?
你们好。
你好. I hope mmepokea salamu za my friends here on YouTube. So now I would like a friend of mine to now come and introduce herself a little bit. And she can tell us who she is. She can tell us where she is. And she can tell us what she is doing here. Okay, Eda,
Hi, 大家好，你们好。I'm Eda. 我叫 Eda. 我现在在上海. I don't know. I hope I hope you understood that. I'm currently in Shanghai. I'm a student. I'm currently doing my master's degree here. And yes, I'm here because I got invited here by a very good friend of mine. We started this Chinese journey together. We were in the same class. We used to sit together. We used to practice together, and he was way more smarter than I was in Chinese.
Lies! Okay, or maybe you're not talking about me. If you're talking about me.
No, it's just, it's you. It's you. So, yes. We've been friends for so long. And yeah, you know. I'm glad to see he's doing amazing work. I do attend some of the YouTube sessions, actually. If you've noticed, I don't know if anybody has noticed. Actually,
do you write on the chats every time when I'm struggling to say?
I do.
Write on the chats.
I do.
You do? Oh,
yes.
Why doesn't Zoom have emojis that we can put in here so that people can see?
I know they should have some, you know, some things to show reactions.
Video. I think we usually have these reactions here. I don't know if it shows. Has it shown like my kakidole?
Oh yeah, there's a thumbs up.
And how?
Oh yeah.
Eda, please tell me this. How long have you been in China?
I've been in China 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
3 years. I want to ask you how China is, but I think that is a conversation for another time. That is another video all on its own, guys, all on its own. But for today, you know that we have here at Discovery, we teach Chinese all the way ranging from level 1 all the way to all the levels to level 6, and even as they increase to level 9, we will do so. We also teach YCT, as I just said, for kids. Now here there are some level 3, level 4 students who are really interested also in studying in China and attaining this scholarships and being able to also study in China. First of all, you can tell us which university is this that you are in?
Yes, I'm currently in Donghua University. Donghua, yes. It's in Shanghai.
And how? So are you studying Chinese or are you studying something else?
Okay, just a brief to my journey here. In Donghua. I started my Chinese in Moi University, Kenya. Then I got to apply for scholarship. And the first university that I got into was Donghua University. So for my first year, I was learning Chinese. But after finishing that, I decided to pursue a master's degree, but it's an English taught program.
Okay. So in Chinese, there is English taught programs and then there's Chinese taught programs.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I opted,
But when you went to China, you went in scholarship.
Yes,
I went scholarship.
Yes.
So okay, so today we are talking about the process of application. But before we talk about the process of application, you can tell us, how is this scholarship? Is it sufficient? Is there some things that maybe the students may need to pay for? Is it, they say full scholarship, but it's not actually full scholarship? Is it that way? What kind of scholarship is this?
What kind of scholarships? In China, mainly there are three main three main sources of scholarships, or three main types of scholarships. So the main scholarship, the most people use, is the CSC, that's the Chinese Government Scholarship. CSC, so the Chinese Scholarship Council, that's what gives out the scholarship. And then there is the provincial or municipal government scholarships. So for example, I'm in Shanghai, I can decide to apply for a Shanghai government scholarship. Somebody else in Beijing can decide to apply for a Beijing government scholarship. Yes, and the other third one, the one that got me here, is the Confucius Institute Scholarship.
Okay. And how? So it's even more than I thought. I only knew about the government scholarship and the Confucius Institute Scholarship. But I do know that there are some organizations like China Admissions that offer scholarship, although I know for them, mostly it's not the full scholarship. It's usually like part scholarship. But for you, which one, as you said, you went with the Confucius Institute Scholarship, that was a full scholarship, Dwema.
Yes, Confucius Scholarship is a full scholarship, but it's only for Chinese language.
It's only for Chinese language. Okay.
Yes.
So please explain to our students what you mean by full scholarship. What does it mean when you say full scholarship? What do they offer in that package?
Full scholarship meaning, you're fully supported, starting from your fees, your accommodation, your medical insurance, and the money you get for food. Just living in a place,
free money, free cash like this.
Yeah, that's one more motivation to actually study, learn like
my Lord God Almighty. You mean like I'll be studying sleeping, waking up, and you give me money at the end of the month.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And as you said, that it also includes medical insurance, right?
Yes.
So like if you get sick, that is also catered for.
Yeah.
Medical. And then you said accommodation is also catered for, so they give you like a place to stay, a good place to stay.
Yeah, they give you a good place to stay actually. But at the same time, if you don't want to stay in that good place, they'll give you that money so that you look for your own place to stay.
So if I look like at their dorms and I see I do not like it, I say, give me this money. I go look for another place to stay.
That makes you feel comfortable.
Oh my Lord.
Bye. Yeah, the thing is, the money is capped at a certain amount depending on you. Yeah, but yes. But still, it's free accommodation, you know.
Oh my God, interesting, very interesting. So full scholarship is enough. In your opinion, it is enough to survive at the very least. Unless you're going there to be Bill Gates and you say, all drinks are on me. All these are on me. And you've gone there to buy all the Chanel and everything. But otherwise, if it is for, you've come, you're a student, you're learning, you're doing this, you're doing that, it is enough for you.
Yeah, it is enough. Yeah, it is enough to survive, yeah.
Okay, that's so wonderful, so wonderful, so wonderful indeed. So now, before we go into the application process, let me not lock out any student. If you have any question regarding the full scholarship, blah, please let's talk to Eda and ask all these questions before we start about the application process.
Yes, keep the questions coming.
So please, and guys, my friends on YouTube, you have any questions, please, you can also type for us in the chat. We are also looking at the chat, so you can as well type for us in the chat, and we can also answer those questions. So for now, the students in the Zoom, please, you can ask the questions that you wish to ask.
Okay. Samantha?
Yes. Yes, Dadia, you can ask. Yes, who is that? Is it Sally?
Okay.
When say you're given the full scholarship, yeah, and actually, I've just forgotten my question. Laushe, it has just skipped me.
It's okay, take your time.
Maybe we can go to someone else. Tabi, you have a question about I can hear Chebet. Chebet, you have a question about the full scholarship?
How are you going to?
Okay.
Is there an age bracket? Maybe when you reach a certain age, you would no longer qualify
For the scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, there is an age bracket for that. And that depends on what you want to study. If it's an undergraduate course, you have to be under 25. Undergraduate, undergraduate degree. If it's a master's degree, you have to be under 35. And PhD, I think it should be under 40. So.
But me, I'm almost 40 and I want a PhD and I haven't been done master's yet.
Chebet, did that answer your question?
Wait. How about?
Okay.
You've answered, sister.
Okay, you're welcome. Come on, you're 40.
I'm almost. I can see Joyce is raising her hand. Joyce,
okay.
You can answer. You can ask the question.
Oh, I have a question. After completing maybe the first scholarship, maybe I go for undergraduate in China. Can I change to another field and apply for another scholarship?
Okay, it's Joyce, right? Okay. Yes, you can. Like I said, I came here on a Confucius Scholarship. I did 1 year of language. And then for my master's, I used the Shanghai Government Scholarship. I used that to, I'm currently using that for my master's, the Shanghai Government Scholarship. Yes, so there is a possibility after you've finished with one, you can actually apply for another in a different stage of study.
Now, I have a question. I don't know if, okay, okay, let me ask this question even as I keep, because I'm trying to look at all the students, also looking at myself, because I also have some questions. So since we said that there are different kinds of scholarship, there's the government scholarship, as you said, there's the Confucius Scholarship, as you said. Now, when it comes to this full scholarship, is it the same for all platforms? Is it like the Confucius Institute, what they offer? Is it the same as what the government offers? Is it the same as what the other institutions offers?
Okay, so like I said, for Confucius, it's just for language, But for these other government scholarships, the Chinese government scholarship and the provincial government scholarships, it depends on what level of study. So if you're doing undergraduate, you're all given the same amount of money. Yes, if it's a master's degree, it's the same across, but it's different from the undergraduate. And if it's a PhD, of course, it's a little bit more, and it's the same across all. Yes. The only limitation is if I get a Shanghai government scholarship, I can only study in universities within Shanghai. If it's a Beijing government scholarship, I can study within universities in Beijing. If it's maybe a Zhejiang province government scholarship, then that's the, the limitation. But if it's the Chinese government scholarship, I can study in any university that I get into within China.
Okay. So I don't know if there's any other questions. Maybe you can raise your hand if I'm locking you out, because I want us now to go into the application process. So I don't know if okay, I've seen a hand somewhere. Tabitha, you can ask the question you want. If
mine is like, are there any other programs that offer financial assistance that cannot be deemed as scholarships?
Are there any other programs that offer? There are programs that do that, but then that you might need to, most of them are for researchers. Maybe if you're a PhD student, you can get financing, financial support from your own government, And the other is exchange programs, from one university to another, but that's more complicated. It kind of depends on the institutions.
And okay, so Laushe Buhao is one more question.
No problem.
Apart from the full scholarships, are there like half? Is it half scholarships, like scholarships that don't have part scholarships?
Yes,
just
there are partial scholarships as well.
Okay.
Yes, they only cater for your tuition, and then the rest you get your own food and you get where to live by yourself.
Now Tabby's question has raised a question in me as well, because you've talked about exchange programs. Now, these exchange programs, are they only within China, or is it possible to have an exchange program? For instance, if we want an exchange program here at Discovery Chinese, because I know in my heart that is something that I would want to achieve in some time. If I would want now, for instance, let me use an example of Joyce. If I would want Joyce to be involved in an exchange program, such that maybe one student has come here in Kenya and then they take Joyce, for instance, for a few months. Do they offer such kind of I don't know how to call it, such kind of arrangements?
Yes. Okay, this I'm going to, for exchange program, it kind of depends on the institution, because this is mostly done for, between universities.
Yes.
So a university, let's say the Confucius Institute in Moi, can decide, the same. Wait, did you come here for the summer camp?
No, I didn't.
No,
Well,
you
Matt,
didn't. No,
I didn't.
so that was like part of the exchange program.
Ah.
Because we were here, we were eating for free accommodation, and we got a few allowances, to move around. So that's like an exchange program. But that ours was very short-lived because it was just a summer camp. But
Okay.
some people opt for longer periods of, study.
Okay. So in as far as I listen, I'm hearing some good things that I like. At the very least, I'm hearing some good things that I quite like. So how do we get into these good things? So now let's get into the gist now of this story. We want to see how to make these applications. What do we need? What qualifications do we need? Things like that. So can you now take us through now?
Okay, so the most important thing is that you actually qualify, that's the first step. You have to make sure you have the qualifications. So I'm going to make this easier so that, most of you can follow up on the steps. I'm going to maybe start with the age, which somebody asked, the age. And then I'll talk about the academic qualifications.
Okay.
The certificates and others. And then I'll talk about maybe, okay. And then maybe,
I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Maybe if you're not talking, maybe you can mute yourself, please. There's some noise coming from somewhere. I'm not sure where. Oh, yeah, it's okay now. It's okay.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the age, the academic, and maybe the language qualifications, because I know most of you are curious why learn Chinese in the first place.
Yes.
Yes. And if I forget something, just bring it up anytime.
No problem.
So for age, like I said previously, it depends on what you want to study. For language, they don't have any age specification. So for anybody can apply for a CIS, the Confucius Institute Scholarship. Although the name got changed, the website is still, the same. Give me 1 minute. So the website is still the same. I think you can just search the Confucius Institute Scholarship. I think it should be CIS. Let me just check the link and just give it, if somebody wants to write it down. Yeah, so it's cis.chinese.cn. That's for the Confucius Institute. They don't have any age limitations. They also don't have any academic qualification. The only thing you need is your language qualification. You have to pass a HSK 3 or a HSK 4 and HSKK exam. Yes. Do you guys know about the HSKK? Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
That very much aware of.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody said, pardon, I'm going to type it here. CIS.
Okay.
Okay. That's for Confucius. So I think the only qualification is that you have to learn the language, which you guys are doing, which is a good, start. Oh, yeah. And the age for the government scholarships, whether it's the Chinese government or the provincial government scholarships, it's 25 for undergraduate, between 18 and 25. And for masters, you have to be under 35. And for PhD, it's under 40. And postdoc, if you get there, you will, you have to study that 5 years.
So for those, okay, so buhaisu Eda. So for anyone who is joining us right now, as you can see from our title, we are talking about the application processes of attaining the scholarships to go to China, to study in China. So if you have any questions, those are the questions that we are taking now. So please make sure you are following with us, and you can ask any questions on the chat. We are also keeping those ones in mind, even as the students who are in the Zoom are also asking, your questions will also be answered. And how? Okay, Eda, continue.
Okay, so for the government scholarship, the Chinese government scholarship, I'm also going to type the link in the chat box, but you can just search campuschina.org. You can do it yourself. It's a very easy application process. Just check out whether you have the qualifications. Let me just type it here. I hope that, okay. Yeah, just type that, you'll get the CIS, the link to the CSA. And okay, that was the age. Pretty. The next was the academic qualifications. So for those who want to do an undergraduate degree, most undergraduate degrees in China are offered in Chinese. Most undergraduate degrees in China are offered in Chinese language. And although there are very few universities that do offer the classes in English, but most of them, undergraduate, it's just Chinese language. So when you come to China to study an undergraduate degree on scholarship, they give you like a 5-year scholarship. So the first year, you'll be learning purely Chinese language, like really intensive Chinese language, for you to, be able to process what's to be taught in the next 4 years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So you just need your high school certificate, and then you can be able to apply and be in the right age bracket. For masters, that's optional. You can choose a Chinese taught program or an English taught program. Most programs are offered in English for the international students. That's if you like me, I chose English because after learning 1 year of Chinese, I just realized it's so hard to understand the technical, aspect of things in Chinese language, because the first year it's very simple. 1 year of Chinese is very, very basic things like, I'm going to the shop, I'm going to take a sub, like very short sentences. But then it's really hard when somebody tries to explain to you what a matrix is in Chinese.
So as you say that, you can tell us what course you're doing. What course are you studying in this Chinese university? Because when you say matrix, it's to the movie.
Okay, what am I studying? IT. Yes.
IT. So when you say the technical things about those terminologies in Hanyu, now they're trying to teach you those hard things in Hanyu.
Yeah. So I'm in the College of Information Technology and Engineering. I'm doing something with artificial intelligence.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So I want us to go directly into one thing where I know all these students of mine are. Guys, because I know even as you say masters, as you say what, those ones were for our YouTube friends.
Yes.
However, I know that there are people here for my main students as to the main reason as to why I called you. is because many of them are in level 3 and level 4. And we also have level 1s and level 2s who have that aspiration. They want next year, they want to be ready to apply. And I know most of them, they want maybe not, of course, there are some who may want to do other courses, other things, but I know most of them want to go to study Chinese in China. They want to just pursue their further studies in Chinese in China, right? Many of them want to be teachers, many of them want to be translators, many of them want to work in Chinese companies, So now, so let's think about this. The level 3s, now that they are going to apply for the 1-year scholarship, okay? Maybe because I know there are different kinds of scholarship. You can be applying for the TCE, like teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. You can be applying for maybe Chinese language and literature. Now, and I know mostly that's maybe where they want to head, and that is why all of them are here looking at you, wondering when are you going to mention now us in a level 3 who are now literally we are going to apply. What do I need? Who are not thinking about the master's bado, who are not thinking about that. They are applying now to go continue with their further studies in Chinese in China. So let's go.
Level 3. This takes me back. I was also at level 3. I was also at level 3.
Oh my God. Ebu, just tell me about this.
Yes. So I was at level 3. So at HSK level 3, if you actually, I've listened to your classes. I've heard them answer the questions. I've seen the replies on, the chat. I think they're doing better than I was doing at level 3.
I tell them that all the time and they never believe me.
Never believe me. They're doing way better than I was doing at level 3. So the only thing they need to do is to actually, sit for the exam, pass the exam, at least get maybe a 210. That's not so hard, right?
That's not so hard.
Tabitha is nodding. She's like, that's pretty easy.
Like 210. What even is that? 210. Even what is 210?
It's like just 210. That's so easy, That's so easy.
Now, it's 210 out of what though?
It's 300, right?
Out of 300, huh?
That's
so
like
you
70%.
Need 210 out of 300 for you to pass, right? But I know my students. My students, that is not what they want to apply for.
Yes, I can see Faith smiling, just so confident.
Look at them, they are waiting for
the application, Just give her the form.
Yes, just give out the forms quickly.
Just give her the form. Where are we having this chat?
I know. So guys, recently, this is how it is that, if you're applying to do, for instance, the one I applied for was teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages because, look at me. And this is what I want to do, yes? Now, I know that the qualifications as we see them going are harder and harder. The qualifications for level 3 is a whopping 270 out of 300. Applying to go to China, she's down. So
really?
Xianzai, if you're applying with a level 3 certificate, just know that's the expectation. You need a whopping 270 out of 300 in your at least the written test. You need a whopping 270. But remember, as you said, there's also the HSKK.
HSKK.
Yes, there's also the HSKK test that they also have to sit for.
HSKK. So how do you practice your Chinese? How do you?
Yes. So maybe for our YouTube friends, you can tell us what you can tell them when we say this HSKK. What does that mean? What does that mean?
And I'm asking your students, somebody is asking, explain more on HSKK.
Good.
It's just, how do you say it?
So this is
Han yu
a
shui ping, ko yu kao shi, right? It's like the spoken, the oral version of HSK. So it's having a, it's you listen, you speak, you listen, you answer questions. It's basically oral. It's an oral test. So how do you practice your spoken English? Your spoken Chinese? Spoken Chinese. Yeah, sorry. Spoken Chinese. So that's the HSKK. It's you like, oral exam. That's, wait, you haven't told them about the, yes. So it's an oral exam, which you also have to do. And it also has different levels, by the way. Yes, there is the is it the beginners, and then there's the intermediate, and then there's the advanced. It's like 3 levels.
Yes.
I don't know whether they added more, but I just know there are 3 levels. Yes.
So guys, please type for me in the chat. Have you ever sat for the International Chinese Test, either the HSK test and the HSKK test? Please write for me in the chat. I'm curious to know. Has any of you ever sat for any of these tests? Now, and even as we say that yeah, neither Han Yu Shui Ping Ji Ji. What is your Chinese neither Han Yu Shui Ping Ji Ji Shamais? What is your
the level,
The level. What level are you in? And if you start for it, what level have you started for? For level 1, for level 2, for level 3. Now, first of all, I know there's a question before we continue with the level 3s and blah, blah, blah. There's one question that my students always ask me, and I know they are curious about. Are there any scholarships available for level 1 and 2? For
level 1 and 2.
In your experience in China, have you ever seen any or heard of any scholarship that was valid for level 1 and 2?
From experience, no. I haven't heard of any, because even if you want to do like
experience, no. Yeah. So guys, So guys, you see, as I tell you that even when you think about level 1 and level 2, it's just not enough. You need to start going further and further. So you need to be aiming for level 4 and above. As I said, right now, level 3, the pass mark is 270 out of 300, which is extremely high, but it is because it is going as it is being phased out as we go along and along. So for you to now start these application processes, because I believe even now as they have increased the levels up to level 9, it is very possible that now you're going to be saying level 1, 2, 3, those ones don't have any scholarship application. The only scholarship applications now will be from 4 going up. And I think that is when now you guys should start thinking. That is where you guys should start aiming. And Sally, I can see you're asking more about HSKK test. Remember, now this is what happens during a HSKK test. As I said, in our experience, when you go into the exam room, you're given like the car. You remember? When you see her laughing, is because she knows what she went through. You're given like a, what's it called? It's
like a recorder. Yeah.
You're given like a car recorder, and there now you hear everybody speaking, and even you're speaking. And so in this part, what you do, like you will hear like the examiner saying something, and sometimes you repeat what they've said. And then the next part, maybe you're given a question and you find yourself you have to answer. And then there are parts now you'll be given a topic and you'll have to just talk about it. But obviously this changes within levels. This is just the basic level. With the other levels, there are times you'll be given a picture and you are going to have to describe that picture and give whatever you have to say about that picture. And they're just different levels have different difficulties, of course, and different questions that you may find yourself being asked in as far as the speaking test is concerned. But that is also one of the qualifications that you need to apply for scholarships. So let's now calculate the things that we have said. So number one is the HSK test. So you said number one, they need to be thinking about their HSK test.
Yes, please take the test.
Yes.
Don't be scared. It's actually not hard, you know. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. So we have the first one, we have the HSK test, which they should be aiming to get 270 and above if they are going from level 3. Jayo. And then the next that we have is
HSKK.
The HSKK test, right? The HSKK test. Now that they know that they are aiming now, because my students are smart students, then they know that that 270 they will get. The HSKK test they will get. But I think what is really now hitting in our brains is now after the test. Now you have gotten your certificate, right? You have given us the name of the site, which I would request Laoshi to write the sites on the charts for the others to also get. Now you have gotten your certificate. Now you have gone on the site. What are some of the things that they will ask you? I will start with one. A passport. That if you by now you do not have a passport and you are in Discovery Chinese Cultural Center. I don't know if we should put it as one of our requirements that one should have a passport. If you do not have a passport, that is the first thing that you need. Let's even just start there. You need a passport.
Yes, you guys apply early. You know, in Kenya, it takes a whole year to get a single passport. So just, you know.
So, you notice that it is not these days, even to register for this CIS.cn is not possible even without the passport. Even to just register is not possible without the passport. So it's the first thing that you would need. Because they'll ask you for your passport number. They'll ask you for the passport number. So it's not even possible for you to even make such kind of registration. So guys, right now, you should already, so if I know Chebet is already starting her level 3 next week, and we have Tanya, Tabitha has already completed her level 3 and is aiming to do her test next month. I know Tanya is also doing her level 3 right now. I can see Joyce, I can see Laura, I can see, oh my God, there are so many level 3. You can see the level 3 with the rally to come here to ask this question. So guys, if you're to go to China next year, now you should be starting the passport application process. So other than passport, what else maybe would we need during the applications? What were the things that maybe you were asked for?
What things I was asked for? Okay. Yes, the passport is important. The next is your results, you know. They need those certificates. You need to, you know, prove you actually passed. You did all those tests. The next is just the basic things any school will ask for, like a recommendation letter.
So pause, even before you go. Here you are shouting here, recommendation letter. This recommendation letter, where is it coming from? What do you mean by recommendation letter?
Recommendation letter, you can get it from a teacher, probably an institution, you know. Yours is an institution, right? Discovery.
It is an institution.
Yes.
Discovery Chinese Culture.
Yes. You can also try to link. Yes.
Even before you can try all those. You students, what do I usually tell you? Respect me. Respect me because you're going to come here to ask me.
You're going to ask for the letter.
You're going to come here to ask me for a recommendation letter. And if you have been playing in class, I'm going to say. If I tell you to do my Zoye and you're not doing Zoye, I ask you to do this, you're not doing, you are coming to class today and then you come after another 3 weeks, you will come here to humbly ask me for my recommendation letter.
Yes.
So, but no, hatuna mbaya mbaya. Miss Faith is here, Miss Kathleen is here, Mr. Augustus is here. We are all ready to give you those recommendation letters for your application. So a recommendation letter.
The other thing you need is to identify an institution that, you know, accommodates students under the CIA, the Confucius Institute Scholarship. So yes.
By institutions, you mean the universities?
Yes, not all universities in China take in the students under the Confucius Institute because not all universities offer the language classes.
So you need to do your due diligence on this to know which school you're going to, what you're applying for, and is it offering that course that you want. As we said, guys, there are different things that you could be applying for. It could be the Chinese language and literature. It could be the teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. It could be masters. It could be the normal undergraduate. It could be all these things. If it's the BCT, if it is all these other things that you want to apply for. So you need to do your due diligence. Go and do your research. This is the university you want to go to. I know many people, maybe they go with, because maybe you guys can type for me in the chat and maybe here my students. Which universities do you know in China? Maybe let's start there. I want to pick like a few students. Let me start with Samantha. Samantha, I know you really want to go to China at least once to apply for this application. Do you know any institution at all in China? Even one? Can you maybe name even one university in China?
Of course.
Woman.
Please don't say Tsinghua. If you say
so just tell us one institution.
Tianchi University.
Tianchi University, very good. Okay, let me ask one more. Chebet, I know Chebet Kwanda is going to China very soon. Chebet, next year I should be putting you in a plane. Chebet, by the way, I'm only teaching you up to next year. Next year, I'm supposed to be putting you on a plane to go somewhere else. If not next year, the other year. Now, Chebet, do you know one? Can you name me at least one institution in China? Look at her nodding her head. So these are the things that you should be researching right now. Because as you keep saying, you want to go to China, 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 where? Which institution do you think that you want to apply for?
Yes.
There are a lot of institutions that offer what you want, but as Eda says, it is as well not all institutions that offer these things that you want. You need to do your due diligence to know which institution you want to go to. The same way in high school, we always used to say, I want to go to University of Nairobi. I want to go to Moi University. I want to go to Strathmore University. That was your moody, your goal, your objective. That was your dream, huh? So you also, in the same way in China, depending with what you want to do, you need to start thinking which institution is favorable for what you want.
Yes.
We continue.
Okay. What other requirement do you need? Nothing. Just apply. Just go through all the steps because it takes like a series of reviews before you actually get the confirmation. First, I think the university should accept you before they give you the scholarship. So that's what I'm saying. Be very careful which university you choose. Make sure it accommodates students, under that specific scholarship. Because some universities just don't want to take international students for 1 year. And then, the student is like, I'm going elsewhere. Or that's the end of my journey. So it's more of a research.
It's more of a research. Very good. Now, as you say that, as you say that it's more of a research, I will tell you guys this. One of the things that we were advised and I would advise you as you keep on doing it is because it's a relationship between you and the university.
Yeah.
So you would have to send them an email giving them your intention of what you're doing. You send them an email and let them know that I am applying, that I have just completed this and this test, and I am applying for of which all this you're writing in Hanyu, yeah. So I have one question. Have you ever written an official email in Hanyu? My students, have you ever written an official email in Hanyu? If not, would you mind sending me an official email in your I can see here Lydia Onini is talking about Shandong Normal University. Henham.
Yeah,
Henham,
somebody knows.
Normal University. Very good. So would you mind sending me an official email on my email address? I will give you guys my email address. Send me an official email so that I can give you a few corrections on maybe what you should pay attention to. So you would have to send an official email to that university and await their response. It's like an email of intent, right? To tell them that I've finished my this exam and I have done well, or I think I've done well, and I am applying to your institution. I'm interested in your institution, and I am applying for a full scholarship for this September intake, and I would like for you to consider me. Now, these institutions are not, this is not something that should worry you, because when I sent my email to them, they replied to me very quickly. I think it took me a few days, and they had already sent me a reply and told me like, oh, you're interested in this? Okay, that's wonderful. And they gave me a few directions on some of the things that I can pay attention to, some of the things that I can do. And they sent me the QR code for their WeChat group, and I was able to do that and to keep in constant communication and follow up with them. So this is something also very important that you need to also pay attention to, that even as you do that, these are some of the things that you may have to send.
Yes, that's a show that, Chinese universities actually read their emails. I'm sure universities in Kenya, they don't see the emails, probably. They read the emails after 1 year, just, they actually do. Yeah, they actually do have a really good work ethic. They will reply to your email. Even if you actually just randomly email them, like, what do I need to qualify for this program in your school? They will actually, help you through the whole process.
Through the whole process. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
So now, let me ask this question, Eda. Do you know maybe what criteria they use to pick who they are picking and who they are not picking? like obviously.
Did you get your scholarship?
I did get my scholarship. I'm actually doing my scholarship as of Monday is what I'm doing.
Wow, which university?
I'm doing it in Tianjin Shifandashe.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yes, Tianjin Normal University in Tianjin. Yes, so that is where I got my scholarship. So and yes, so I will tell you that also that I applied for scholarship. I sent them the email. I did get a recommendation letter, and I'm happy to say that our director, Miss Faith Morga, is the one who wrote me my recommendation letter. So as I said, because we had a good relationship while she was my teacher, and so she was able to give me my letter of recommendation, and of course those other the data, the material, the certificate, as Eda said, the HSK certificate, the HSKK certificate, and like proofs. Eda, there's one thing that you forgot. They usually ask you for like proof of your study in Chinese. So you may have to if you ever studied, suppose, for instance, if you have studied in a Confucius Institute, they will require you to offer one of the papers to show that you did and which year. So you also need to track like which year you started and how many years you have been, how many years you have been studying. And I'm seeing Miss Kathini has also sent a message here that I think they should also
medical tests.
Or the medical tests. Yes, the medical tests that you need for these applications, that you may need some medical tests as well to be done before applications. Now, as I was asking, I know maybe this may not be your area, so you may not know. So, but do you know, is it another to be a series just in case? Like if they maybe a criteria that they use to pick who they are picking and who they're leaving out?
A criterion who they're picking and who they're leaving. Okay, I don't know. I just think there's no specific criteria.
There's no specific.
They just look at your papers and that's it.
Now, Dadia, there's also one thing that you will need. There's also one thing that you will need, and it is called an application letter. And even if you have the recommendation letter, but you will also need an application letter. Now, what is an application letter, Dadia? An application letter is the letter that you personally will write and upload to these institutions. Remember that you're usually given, because you're making multiple applications. So these application letters will go into these institutions. You will need to write an application letter. What are some of the contents that maybe should be there in your application letter? Of course, the intent to do that. Of course, an introduction of who you are and the intent of what you want to do and the reason as to why you want to do what you're doing. It's kind of like a job application. Yeah. You will need to write an application. So that all these topics that we usually give you, as you speak this in hand, and then you think it's so difficult and you keep waiting for the teacher to talk so that you can talk. And I tell you need to learn how to speak independent of the teacher. You will need to, by yourself, write an application letter and send it to this institution. You will need to write that, hi, let me use Chebet as an example. I am Chebet, I am a level 3 student in Hanyu, so not writing the way I'm saying in you. So you need to write, I was Chebet, was she Hsk Sanji that she Shango Gang, so Allah Hsk Sanji was Sola, or Hsk Sanji da Kao. I'm very interested in your institution. Why are you interested in that institution? What programs have you seen in that institution that have drawn your interest? What curriculum do they have? What extracurriculars do they have? It is in which city? What do you think that you will get as a benefit of being in that institution? And once you have gotten that benefit, what will you do with what you gain from that institution? So these are some of the contents that you will need to put in your application letter. So you will need an application to write an application letter to this institution, just like a job, right?
An
application letter, then the data and all that. Now, let's talk, because I can see time is really going. Let's talk about now, once you have gotten the scholarship, once you have applied, and by God's mercies and grace, you have gotten that scholarship. Now what? What happens? What happens after that?
When you've gotten the scholarship, I think the first thing you'll get is the admission letter from the school, the university. That admission letter will help you apply for a visa, I think that's the next, and you need all this. Okay, the visa requirements are really easy. I don't think that should be hard to, find out the visa requirements. You can just e-citizen or somewhere, just download, book an appointment at the embassy and all those processes. But the main thing is you getting that admission letter, and that's it. That will help you get the visa. Yeah.
Now, once you have gotten your admission letter, blah, 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 I know the university usually requires you to register because you need to show that either you've accepted
you have to accept.
You have to like officially say that I have accepted this scholarship and give that intent that you intend to actually come to that university on this date and this date. Because I know it usually happens. Sometimes you would accept that thing, or sometimes you would postpone and say,
or sometimes it happens, you know, when you're applying for more than one institution, and they all, you know, accept you. Now, for you as a person, you have to weigh which one you want to go to.
Yeah.
So you have to reject one and take another one so that, you know,
So you have to send them that registration, like, okay, I've accepted. Thank you for giving me the so it's these protocols. Thank you for giving me this scholarship. I've accepted the scholarship, and you go through the registration process.
But but for most universities, because they don't, you know, want to go through the effort of reading a lot of things, they just, you know, tell you to reply yes or no. Just very simple.
So all you need to do is just reply.
Because the office staff is, you know, most of them are Chinese. Yeah, so they're like, okay, as much as, you know, me and you can read Chinese, but we prefer having, you know, us reading in English.
Yes.
So it's easier if, you know, for them to just read a yes or a no in English because.
Okay. Now, walk me through this. So you went through all these things that we have said. We went through all these things that we have said, right? And then you got your scholarship, you registered, and blah, blah, blah. Now, walk me through this short story. You entered the plane. First of all, you went and told your parents, blah, 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 blah. You packed your bags. You packed your bags. And then you got a plane ticket. First of all, please tell our students, are the plane tickets going to China very expensive?
Right now, yes.
Right now, yes.
Right now, yes.
Because of COVID, or just generally, normally?
Because of COVID, because
now,
you know,
this full scholarship, does it cater for your plane ticket?
No, it doesn't.
No. So that one you take yourself there, You take yourself there. That's your house. Now you did that. You bought the ticket. You went to JKIA. You boarded the plane. How many hours is it from here? How many hours? Did you have a layover? Was it just a Jida Tomboda? Was it just straightforward till there, or did you have a layover?
No, it was not so there because I was coming to Shanghai. There's no direct flight from, you know, Nairobi to Shanghai. So I took Qatar Airways, which was cheaper at that time. Kenya Airways is expensive, so
okay. So you went.
So I took with Qatar Airways. So I had like just one stopover at Doha. Doha is like in, you know, somewhere in Qatar and Shanghai. So I don't know. I didn't have that much time to prepare because for me, it was like leaving an exam room in Moi because I was doing my final exams. And the same evening, actually, just going to Nairobi, and the following morning, I just left Nairobi. So it was like a hassle.
Now, when you, because I know this is something the students are curious about, or maybe they may not have thought about it. But once you are on the plane now here you have landed in Shanghai. Does the school maybe offer like somebody maybe to come and direct you up to where the school is? or do you reach and just find your way? Like what happens? You just land in the country, and then now like ujipange, how do you jipate to in the institutions, or what happens?
It's very interesting actually, because most universities, they do offer pickup, you know, from the airport. to the school. But I don't think, the universities are going to, offer the pickup, all through the week. They just give you like specific day. They actually write it in your email. The school will be picking students from the airport on this day and this day at specific time. So if it happens that you get to the airport at that time, then it will be easier for you to be picked up. But for some of us, due to personal reasons, we couldn't get we couldn't get there at that specific day and time. So you had to navigate your way from the airport to school. And the thing is, yes, I love learning Chinese. I love, the aspect of reading and listening to the teacher. But then sometimes it's different. The book Chinese is not the same as the street Chinese. It's just like, how we speak Kiswahili. It's weird right now. You go on the street and somebody greets you, hujambo. You'll be like, it looks so different. There's also, so there's that small, change between the street Chinese and the book Chinese. So you say something and the person is trying, taking some time to process what you just said. Because most people, because yes, it's Chinese. We just say it's Chinese, but it's Putonghua, like Mandarin. But then in China, there are different versions of. It's like the languages are different. If I'm from Shanghai,
like the dialect.
Yeah, the dialect. Yeah, exactly. So in Shanghai, they speak Shanghainese. So it's slightly different from the normal Putonghua we speak, like the Mandarin. So it's a little bit. So you get onto a bus, the public buses, and the person who's, making announcements, they're just saying it in Shanghainese.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you have gone all the way to level 4 here studying Mandarin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is quite interesting.
It's very, yeah. And also, not every Chinese person can actually speak Putonghua,
Really?
Yes.
So not all Chinese people can speak Mandarin.
No, can speak, the Chinese, you say it's just Mandarin,
Yes.
Putonghua, so that's
Putonghua, yes.
Yeah. So the Chinese people who can speak Mandarin.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
For me, the hustle was actually trying to figure out how to get onto a bus, the public buses, or, get a taxi or use the subway train. And it was just, It was a good experience. It was an interesting experience.
It was an interesting experience. Now,
yes.
Now I believe we've gotten so much information. Let me just ask one question. Now, guys, please raise your hand if I've ever told you language on the ground is not as language on the book. It's good that I have said it, it is not good by saying you said it and I've not said anything. Yes, because I always tell my students that language on the ground is different than language on the book. Yes, I can see Laura raising her hand. I can see Tabby raising her hand. You see the other ones, the way they are pretending as if I've never said it. I've said it quite often.
Yes.
Now, I believe we've gotten so much information. Now, guys, you can prepare any questions that you may have. If there's any question I may not have asked, please, you can prepare those questions so that we can ask Eda. But I will ask you one final question. Have you ever regretted your choice?
Have I ever regretted? No, never. And I don't think I ever will.
Very good. Very good. So Dadia, you've had it from Eda, you've had all this information from Eda. So for now, allow me to say thank you so much for giving us your time, for allowing to speaking with us all the way from China till now. I'm so happy to have had you, and I believe you have answered as many questions as you may have had. In case there's any questions that we may not have had, then we will follow up in another video. But for today, if we decide to stay there, then the video will be just far too long. But for now, allow me to just say thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll have
Thank you. Yes, it was really nice.
Yes, thank you so much
Hanging out with you guys.
Thank you so much. So for now, Dadia, Laura, do you have something?
I want to ask, now that you find the difference, you found the difference in the speaking, the language, what did you do to cope up with that?
Deficiency. You know, the easiest way to actually learn a language is, you know, using it, just speaking it. So coping, you asked how I'm coping with it now, right, Laura? Wait, is my VPN up? Laura? You asked how I'm coping with the language deficiency.
Yeah, like you said, when you went there, you found that even when you said something, the network would take a lot of time to
understand. Wait, somebody's breaking up. Oh no. I can't hear you guys.
Can you hear me, Eda? Because I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, because it's like you guys, you know, you went off. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
we are down.
So please allow us to end there. We will follow up with another video because all these activities, we shall have them. So guys, don't worry. Any of those questions or any that we may not have answered, you can always put them down and we will follow up with yet another video. And we can also invite Eda as well as others to also fill up with all these things. But I believe some of our questions at least have been answered. And for that, we want to just say thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And for now, Dadia, I want us to say thank you so much to also our viewers. Remember, if you want to apply to study Mandarin now, we are available for you. Now that your kids have also, let me just a quick reminder for the kids who have closed school, this is a good time for them to come and learn a new language and learn it as early as now. And so you can enroll with us, you can come to the center and as well make any inquiries that you may need. But for now, we would like to say thank you so much for everything, and we will see you again. We'll see you guys again next Friday. For now, 再见, 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 谢谢大家, 谢谢. Thank you so much.